Get it, get it, get it. Y'all, listen. Listen, the makeup is doing the things. Y'all, this was done in probably 10 minutes because I'm her. Um, hi, Janet. Hi, girly girl. Hi, 93 Run. Andrea. What's up, Mel? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So a couple of things. I'm gonna do the makeup situation right now because then that way, because I want to. That's why. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. So I figured I may as well go on ahead and just say what's on my eyes so that I can, continue the feather ruffling. So first up, I have the Antiquity palette. That is the black that's right here. Like I use the shade Plague, which is like almost navy. Like it's a very interesting black because it's like navy black. I don't know how to explain it other than the way that I just did. So yay. Then the next thing is I dipped into my Unearthly Cosmetics palette, the sleepover one, and I went into Cuddles, and that's on my outer V. And I used a little bit like under here and here. So that's that. Then we have on the lid, I am using this shade that I do believe is from, let's see, Menagerie. It's an Ember. I was feeling very, listen, I'll show you how spirited I'm feeling. Give me a second. Hi, Amanda. What's up? And then in my inner eye corner, because of who I am as a monster, I decided to just be really wild and I threw on Ice Cube from Glam Shop. So, I'm having a day. I'm having a day. Thank you, Puff. I appreciate it. Listen, it's one of them days. It's just one of them days. So, spirited. So I don't forget. I'm already ready. I'm already ready. Listen, I'm wearing a long sleeves. You know what that should tell you? It's not as hot in Texas right now, babes. And she weighs. What is up? How are you? Listen, for those of you who do not know, I be spending some time on the interwebs, but before I get there, I completely forgot. I got to go in here and I have to pay bills. We'll get to that in a second. But this video or stream, as is all of them, is brought to you by my channel members and patrons, without whom I would not be able to continue to create content on this and my other channels. So I appreciate y'all so much. Hey, Felisa, welcome. I'm about to start getting braids again, Felisa. By the time I actually get my life together for hair, listen, I'll have braids. I'll have braids back in. The main issue I'm having right now is just like growing like the back half. The back half, like that's the issue. I'm like, oh, I just need the back ends to grow at the same rate as the top poofy parts. And I'm loving it though, because I feel like I look adorable. I'm living my best life. Now, for those of you who do not know, I am Audra, a mail carrier, not male as in masculine, but male as in the mail that you receive in your house or email, either one of them. As such, therefore, and forthwith, I am often listening to multiple podcasts throughout the day, especially when it was like 115 degrees outside. I needed something, anything. And as a rule, I typically like don't follow a lot of male content creators, like not a lot of them because a lot of them are irritating. So it's not their fault. Like it's not their fault. It's just because I feel like a lot of times when men say things, like it just irritates me. Like it's the way that they speak, and it's. I'm not making it better. Anyways, there are some male podcasts and like videos that I listen to, and for random reasons, I was listening to this one. It had Jarvis Johnson, who I've only recently become aware of, another person who has an accent that I don't know where he came from, and Hassan, that big dude who has like a chill voice. I only recently became aware of him by way of FD Signifier. So I was listening to this like long podcast of theirs. It was like, I don't know, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, which is perfect for me when I'm out working. However, there was one segment of the podcast where I was like, oh, this is why I don't listen. Like sometimes I'll listen because they'll be fun, they'll be funny. So I thought I would like come in here and like they listen. Here's the good part. None of these people know who I am and they do not care. So like they don't care that I exist. They don't know that I exist. They're going to live their best lives without knowing that I exist unless they happen to see the thumbnail that I'll create after this, and then they'll be like, still don't know I exist. You see what I'm saying? Like it's fine. I like reacting to content of people who are just so huge that it's never gonna affect me. You know what I mean? I can't have like things like that bothering me. And the reason that this affected me is because I have ADHD along with my autism. And I just like this particular, yes, the sad boys, that's what they are. Oh, that sounds like I'm calling them something I'm not. I swear. Like, it'll pop up from time to time. I usually skip it, because none of them have the voice, and this isn't, like, anything against them. I do the same thing with any podcast, like, or any person who creates content. None of them have the voice that I need in particular to be able to, like, work and not focus on the heat. It's just kinda, like, somewhat grating and, like, it's not his fault, like, he can't change it, and I'm not, like, faulting him for that, but it like, the way that they sound, it's just, like, not. So, they had this one, and I think it's titled, like, Hassan Abi. Is that how you say it? Because I feel like such a weirdo. I don't like to say people's names because I always feel like I'm saying them wrong, and it doesn't matter if your name is, like, Jennifer, because then I'm like, "Is it Jennifer? Like, Jenny? Jenai?" So, I have problems. But, they were talking about ADHD. Let me add this in. Oh, no, don't start talking, fam. And I thought I would kind of react to some of this because I was like, what is happening? So for a little bit, I am gonna be like smaller because, well, should I be smaller or should I be like, which one do y'all like better? Because I don't want to be a jerk, but like, one or two. I'm like, one or two. We're at the eye doctor. We're doing an exam. Let me know how you feel. Peppy. Or any man podcast man for that matter, unless they're yeah, if you're not like a bi man, like I just can't. So we have one vote for two for two. One more comes in and then like we're gonna all right. So it's overwhelmingly for two, and that is because three people voted and now there's a fourth. So let us begin our journey. What oh, that's my fault. Hold on. I don't know how to do volumes. Let me live my life. Thank you.
Like you're an ADHD haver, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you get
Laugh
diagnosed?
at him.
When
Ha
did
ha.
you get
Yeah.
diagnosed?
The real victims of society. Nobody talks about our plight enough.
Everything we've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
When did you like learn that you had it though?
what came to America 2009.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I found out like a couple years ago, and it like sort of made my whole life make sense. But what was that like for you?
Also, I would like to say I love that he said that. I think that one's Jarvis. That one's Jarvis, right? Let's all say that that's Jarvis. I'm like, I'm gonna react to something here, but remember, always keep in mind that I'm 99% of the time listening but not seeing. So I'm assuming that even though you're not supposed to, because ask you me, but I think that that one is Jarvis. I did like that he said that when he found out that he was diagnosed, it made his whole life make sense, because that was the thing for me. I was like, oh, well, that explains everything. Like, I feel less like an insane person. Like, I am actually losing my mind because it's the little things, right? It's the sensation of putting something down right in front of you, turning around, and then you're like, does anybody see the thing that I just had? Anybody? Okay. That's one of the things too that's really difficult about being like ADHD and living alone is how much stuff that you're like constantly losing and you can't even figure out how that's even possible because you're like it's just me here. How is it possible that I'm losing stuff when it's just me? Like I can't but also like I do live in a perpetual mess. So, moving on.
You.
Wait, how old? Oh, that's for college, right? Yeah. So you are an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I was 18. I don't know. I have a really weird approach to ADHD where I just feel like it's just a thing. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's weird. I think that's pretty.
Well,
normal.
people get really touchy about it where they're like, I feel
There
like
it goes.
people, like ADHD
Left.
Twitter at least, or ADHD havers are a little bit sensitive about the way it's portrayed. Like it's I don't think it's as debilitating in general. I mean, depending on the severity.
And he does say depending on the severity.
Severity, of
Yeah.
course.
And this is where it starts to like this is where my ears perked up and I was like what did you say? Did you a rich person with access to things say that ADHD is not as debilitating as people make it out to be? Here's the thing. The reason that this made my ears perk up and made my blood boil just a smidgen, and I know he's like, if he were to ever see this, he would be like, see exactly what I'm talking about. Sensitive. No, so here's the thing. I'm not a rich person. I am poor. I am not a rich person. And therefore I also don't get to have a job that is like something that I enjoy a lot every day, which makes every day great. I also, again, don't have a job that lets me know my hours, like when I will and will not be home. So the thing about that is because most of us, a large majority of us with ADHD have to work in corporate America, which is, or corporate wherever, but I'm an American, so I can only speak to that. Which is very unfriendly to neurodivergent people. That means that we are at a job that we don't particularly like, and it's difficult to continue to stay focused on. And when we hit our max limits and can no longer do that, everything falls apart around us. Like we literally, we can't, it is actually quite debilitating because we are going to lose our jobs if we can't focus, if we can't stay together. And like, not everybody is tolerant to the medication. I'm one of those people who's not tolerant to ADHD medication. Yeah. Yeah. It's the autism. The autism actually made a lot of sense with regards to illicit substances when I was younger and the way in which they didn't really seem to work properly on me. Like everything that I participated in that was recreational and fun, I could see through very quickly. And this is one of the reasons why I was like, you know what, I should just stop doing all of this stuff because I'm just going to keep taking more to have like just the same experience that somebody who took like this much is having. So like, I'm fine. I can see through everything. Like the Molly days, I had a whole bunch of people believing that Pokemon was about enslavement. So and I was doing it purposely. You shouldn't really be able to do that on 3 thingies of Molly. Anyways, what I'm getting at is rich men telling people that it's not that debilitating because as they're about to discuss, they are able to have all of these different ways to manage it that us poors don't have. So here we go.
I don't think it's debilitating. It's like, not being able to see, for example.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, you never want to play that comparison game, but
it's just like I've figured out ways to develop healthy habits,
right,
and like build a really regimented, very rigid work structure.
Yeah,
that I have to-
because you can do that because you work for yourself. So so here's the thing. Let's see what somebody else say. How did I know it was gonna be the song? Listen, here's the thing. I understand that he's used to being canceled anyway. So again, he doesn't care. I'm a small fry. I do nothing. I mind my business. I sit over here. I eat my food, and I talk mess. Like that's who I am as a person. And he doesn't. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't like. I would have to have like 500,000 more subscribers for him to even consider giving a shit about me. So that's why we're doing this because it's fun. Because I like I said, I like to chat about people who like don't know I exist because then I can just have a nice time and I can just chat here in my little tiny world in my little tiny bubble. Okay. But yes, yeah. Disorder and you're not tolerate to medication to help. In some way, I understand what you mean. Yeah. There's a lot of people who aren't tolerant to a lot of different medications. Like Janet, I'm sometimes wondering if it's because ADHD, because I can't not bombastic side eye and visually impaired woman with ADHD. But Felisa, isn't it though? I sat there. We're gonna take a quick side venture because ADHD. I sat there with probably, I'm going to say it was anywhere between 9 to 13 people around me. I had on the Pikachu backpack, not a regular Pikachu backpack, but the one that looks like Pikachu and it's like in soft and fuzzy because obviously I am at a rave and you know what we're doing at raves, rave things. So I'm there. I've had 3 lollipops. And I am looking at all of these people and they're talking about my backpack. And I'm like, yeah, it's actually about slavery. And they're like, what? And I'm like, think about it. All these Pokemon are trapped in the ball and they can only come out when the boy says so. If that's not slavery, I don't know what is. And everybody around me, I'm like, and then I'm looking at them going, are y'all really believing this shit? Because I am wilding. So like, yeah. Yes. So in we go some more. We're gonna dive in. That used to be that one guy who I don't watch anymore. What is his name? Alexander Graham Bell. No, it's not Alexander Graham Bell. I don't remember him.
The follow to a T, by the way.
Yeah.
Or else like everything around me falls apart, certainly. But I figured out methods of dealing with it.
I think that bothers people. I think when people feel underrepresented about anything, they are more fervent about who their advocates are and like who their avatars are. Yeah. So if you don't do it right, like not a lot of podcasters of color. If we're black wrong.
Well, and here's the thing. It's not if you don't do it right. It's more if you are speaking from a position of privilege. So the fact that like he can have a regimented schedule is because he works for himself in a job that he finds highly enjoyable, which is not what the majority of people who have ADHD get to do, right? Like the majority of us don't get to do the job. And here's the fun fact. A really ridiculous large amount of us are very creative folks, right? You see like that is why if you really stop and think about like why is TikTok suddenly filled with people with ADHD? We've always been here. All of your creators are like a large majority of them are neurodivergent people. Like that is the thing, right? Luke Alexander, that's his name or their name. I'm not sure what they're doing these days. Listen, I tried, but large swath of us are not able to do jobs that we enjoy and manage our schedules like that. We would love to, but we can't. Like as a mail carrier, I don't have that joy. I cannot have a regimented schedule at all. I would like to, but I cannot. My schedule varies from day to day. It completely depends on how much mail there is and how many parcels there are. Like how many packages do we have from Amazon this time? So I don't have any control over that. And especially with it lately, you know, it's gone down. But when it was like upwards of 115 degrees every single day, I knew that there was no way I was finishing or I could move any faster because it's so hot. So then you add to that, like people who have jobs like mine, and a large number, I will also say, of people who have ADHD and or are neurodivergent in any measure of different ways, typically have jobs that aren't necessarily corporate. Like we worked them, we got out of them because we could not continue to do them that way, right? We're like, So you have a lot of people in service industries, working in restaurants, working in retail, deliberately taking these jobs, very much deliberately underemployed because it's something that we can do, right? But it also means that our schedules do not stay the same. So like we need y'all to understand when you're over here being rich talking about like a very regimented schedule. I try that. I'm trying to have a schedule. The schedule that I have is for my dog. That's it. Like that's the maximum level of scheduling that I can have. And even that, is sometimes debatable depending on how I'm feeling because I lose track of time because I'm time blind. So let's get back in.
We're in deep shit. And
Dude.
like ADHD especially, I've got a lot of feedback. I've talked very publicly about like what my medication is and how it balances out and stuff like that. My meds help a lot, but I can actively, like my chosen quality of life, the things I do have control over are a huge part of it. And people don't like that. They do not want to hear that. Instead, they want to kind of give the responsibility only to their medical care, and then other people will be like, no, it's only working harder and only having willpower and sleeping well or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's not that. I think it's a bit of both.
It can be a composite.
Yeah.
Like, that's same with everything.
Yeah, like Tattoo Gentleman has like some stuff going on. I don't know who that man is. I'm so sorry to that man. I don't know who you are. I don't know who that man is. I'm like, oh, okay. He's the other boy that is sad with the Z. I didn't know we were still using like Z. I hope it's ironically. I didn't know we were still using Z like that. You know what I mean? Like Limp Bizkit. I didn't know. I mean, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just like, I'm happy that the Z has come back as the S. Like, I'm joyous. Bizkit. Anyway. But I think the conversation around medication versus like doing other stuff, a lot of that, it should, to me personally, I think both things work in tandem if they can work in tandem by trying to focus on the things that you can control versus, being able to be medicated and managing that as well. The problem is we live in America and the health care system is trash. And it's also sometimes very, very difficult to get in to see a doctor when you're poor because you have to be able to like take time off work. If you have sick time, if you get vacation time, because your doctor's office is just not going to be open, on Saturday at 2 a.m. when you need them to be open for your appointment, because that's when you have the Zoomies. So the thing is, when you're having these conversations, I think what a lot of people see, and this is obviously like I'm one of the people watching this, when I see a lot of times like people who have money telling me what they've got here as a poor person. And then we also had the whole thing with the medication where it was difficult to get because people were using it to lose weight, because of course they were. So what you start running into is that people are watching you, someone who is in a privileged position, explain to them that what they're dealing with isn't really that serious. And you're kind of being slightly flippant about it, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But it is when we don't have all of the things that y'all are about to start describing. Yeah. In the last year, I've tried 3 meds for my ADHD and finally found one that helped, but I have to do other things to optimize it. Exactly. For a bit of time when I was a substitute teacher, it was so difficult for me to work day to day. You would get a call in the morning. I much preferred to know ahead of time or have a long-term job. Yeah, same. Because when I worked temp jobs, at first I liked it because the thing that I liked about having a temp job was that I did not have to put up with those people for too long. Now, if that doesn't say ADHD, I don't know it, because it also, like, that's what it meant. I was like, I can come in, I can do work, I can do really well, but I also don't have to stay here and keep performing at that level. Like, I just don't come back here. Like, I'm here for 3 days, I'm here for a week, and then I'm gone, right? And then like I have a couple days where I could just choose not to work and then go in and work and once again perform at top level. But I'm not having to keep performing at that top level all the time. Like that's masked fake me for your job, right? I perform at this level because I don't work here. Like, I'm like, yeah. Now I'm saying the truth, the quiet part out loud. Like I can perform at a high level because I don't actually work here.
Thing.
Yeah.
You have to eat well to get stronger, but you also need to work out to get stronger.
Yeah, the big one for me, I talk about this a lot, is like rejection sensitive dysphoria. Are you familiar with this?
What is that?
Okay. I want to describe this to you and see if it's like something that you've experienced.
I do like this.
I like throughout my life will sometimes feel like this intense feeling of rejection where like I'm being like maybe it's a moment of high stress and I want to like impress somebody and then my credit card declines and then I go, oh, they must think I'm really like dumb and bad and poor. Or on Twitch chat when like I'm fiddling with the audio settings and the audio doesn't work and then everybody's complaining at me and then I feel like everyone in tandem is mad at me and then it can like make my brain go into this like sulky like shut off mode.
I love his explanation of this. This is a thing that I really do enjoy because I get like hot. Like if I'm on Twitch, for instance, like when I'm over there and I'm doing and something isn't working or like my stream goes down or something, I get like hot, like hot flames. And I just start being like, never mind, forget it. I'm just leaving. Like, and it's like, you can't, I'm sorry. My thighs are like mad sweaty, fam. Because I'm sitting on this chair, this like vinyl-y chair, and I get thigh sweat. So now I'm like at a different angle. I hope it's okay because like I had to put something underneath my wet thighs. That's hot. Anyways, yeah, and I get like hot, like my whole face gets hot. I start sweating profusely, and I'm just like, I'm such a loser. I cannot believe I thought I could do the thing. I'm such a loser. Like, why are people here? Oh my God, I just have to go. I have to go. I'm a loser. It's not working. Right? Like that is how like and I'm just like, no, should have known I couldn't do this. And then I just want to shut everything down. The good thing about Twitch is that it has helped with that significantly because I have a super good, super awesome Twitch community. So like when I mess up or like if I've been talking for like 15 minutes of the stream, but my mic is muted, like nobody's nasty to me about it. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, babes, I didn't know that you, like we were trying to let you know. And usually somebody will play like one of the sound alerts or something to like get my attention. And then like, hello, hello. But yeah, like RSD is really stressful because it has you like feeling at any point and every point that you're potentially being rejected. And it does send you into like this like shutdown where you're like, nobody likes me, so who cares? It doesn't matter. Who cares? It's like that's another reason why I created like other channels. One, you know, because one, I'm just mostly talking about movies and TV shows. But the other is because since I changed the trajectory of this channel, YouTube doesn't like it when you do that. So I'm watching my views just be like, and like take this like tumble. And it's like stressing me out. But I'm also like, I also have to keep like talking to myself and being like, be aware that you change the trajectory of your channel. You change what you do on your channel. And like, it may take time. It may never recover. It is what it is. But you're okay. Like you don't suck. And like, that's what I have to do. Oh, I very rarely go anywhere I haven't been before. I can do it by myself, but I have to kind of case the joint. It sounds really weird, but like I do that.
Or like a really defensive like mode where I like want to, but whatever it is, it's like this feeling of intense rejection. For some people, it manifests in like really bad mood. For me, that's more it. For other people, it can manifest as physical pain. But not everyone with ADHD has it. It's just like it's like a comorbidity or whatever. It's like just a thing that exists with it. But that was something where I got sent a paper about it from a doctor, and I was like, oh, this is like why I would be kind of quiet in high school when my friends would make fun of me past my threshold. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'd be like, oh, okay, everyone really does hate me now.
I like that.
But yeah,
I just thought that was, I don't know, normal. I feel that way too, but I don't know.
I think it's a scope shift. It's a scope thing with mental health where like people look into potentially having depression and then they go like, no, but everyone's sad.
Everyone is sad.
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing, you know, and it gets just more severe, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that has an impact on
I think that RSD has a huge impact on a lot of people because it can make it even difficult for you to hear out someone else's side. Like you can do or say something hurtful to someone, um, and because you didn't mean it that way, and it feels like they're taking it that way, you can just shut down. So it's like really mad stressful. I do not like that. Mine more manifests in like for if I can't do something. That's really where mine comes from. Where like M isn't in this chat right now, but M has experienced this from me multiple times where they will be like, "Oh, you should try using this new technology because blah blah blah." And I will shut it down almost immediately. And the reason I shut it down is because I don't know how to use it. And I don't want to be embarrassed trying to figure out how to use it. And instead of me just saying, I would like to get to like learn this thing before I say yes or no to it, I will just be like, oh no, I'm fine doing like this thing. And this is the crux of the problem for M is that I will do that. And then like a week to a month later, I'm using that very technology, and M is just over there, just like absolutely losing it because they're like, why? I have to figure it out myself because I can't be a loser. That's why I can't be a loser. I have to be good at things. And if I'm not good at things, I don't want to do them. Thank you. Yes. And that's a big thing that's really helping a lot of folks too, is that like a lot of folks' depression and anxiety is caused by their untreated ADHD, ASD, varying neurodivergencies. Because if you feel like an outcast or different or weird, then it causes you to be anxious and depressed, right? Because it's harder to make friends when you feel strange, right? And like they're like I like especially because there's so many things with like for instance ASD that when I first thought about like I got diagnosed with ADHD. And that is because I did not bother to talk to them at all about ASD. I didn't bother with it because I didn't want to deal with it at the time. I knew I had ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was, I feel like 36. And yeah, yeah, 36. I think so. So it was a rough time. And then I knew but it was just hard, right? Like getting diagnosed and then having to deal with that. Like I knew that some of my stress and irritation would come from that. It's also why it can be difficult at times to tell me things because I will do exactly that thing. Like if you are like, "Oh, I just want to like spend 5 minutes by myself," then I'm like, "Okay," and I will do that. Give you that time. But the thing is, when you do that and you're like, oh, I just wanted to spend 5 minutes by myself. The thing is, I don't get it from people who are allistic and they'll say things like that. And so I do, but they didn't mean actually 5 minutes. So then we're having more conflict. So I get to where I just don't even want to talk to anything. So I went through my insurance. I talked to my doctor and then like this was God, I can't remember because I'm old and that was a long time ago. And I blanked out a large portion of that time of my life because that was when I was married and I really did try to like erase that. I really did just try to erase like, and that's 12 years of my life that I've been actively trying to erase from my brain. But I remember I had like I went in and I did like some varying tests with this like therapist, I guess. And she was like, yeah, for sure. I don't even think it took her long. She was just looking at me like, yeah, for sure. For sure. We need to, yeah, yeah. You need some medication. Yeah. It was pretty quick. Like, I think it took like 2 or 3 visits back then. I don't know how they're doing it now, but it's, getting diagnosed ASD as an adult is a lot of work, just depending on where you are. But like, yeah, I don't like to do anything new. Unless I initiate new thing, you can't make me do new thing. I have to initiate it, and if I don't like things, I won't do them, and that also causes me problems. Like people will say, like with people who have ASD, like, oh, we're like way into rules and justice or ADHD as well. And I'm like, kind of, if the rule makes sense, I'm down for it. If it doesn't make sense and it's stupid, then I don't care and I will not follow it and you cannot make me. Go back in. Sorry.
Dreaming at all? I mean, you got a lot of chirping voices.
Yes and no. I feel like my ADHD probably helps a lot in many respects because like I can move from subject to subject matter with ease without even, thinking about it at all. And ultimately I feel like that is probably good in a weird way for people to like constantly stay on and like constantly be like, what's he gonna do next? Like, what is he gonna cover next? Like, what are we gonna talk about next?
So having Subway Surfers playing at the bottom, like,
pretty much. Like it's just like I think there is definitely that.
For those of y'all who don't know, Hassan is a ginormous, not like well, both things. He's ginormous in real life, but also on Twitch. Like he is ginormous. I'm not saying it to be mean. He's a ginormous dude. Like look at him. He's a monster. Anyways, and I guess people, can y'all let me know? Do y'all find this man attractive? Because he keeps being sold to me as hot, and I'm not getting it. Like I get the voice, but like I'm not getting. I'm also ace, and I'm not. So just let me know. But he's a ginormous dude. But on Twitch, he's huge. Like if you've ever. Even if you don't follow him on Twitch for whatever reason, if he's on live on Twitch, you should just like pop in there one time just to see how many people he's streaming to, like every day. He does this every single day. And it's like, I don't know, it feels like 12. It's like, it's a ridiculous amount, like thousands of people are in these streams. Like, I mean, thousands. It's not, I couldn't even function like that. Like it would actually like give me hives. But so listen, okay, all right. So some people are like into it, the freckles. You know what? I can see that. I can get that. The freckles. Yes, it can be. It can be. I can't guarantee it, but it can be. It can be a comorbidity with it. So I have some people who are like, yes, no, thank you. Yes, Bethany, this guy here. I mean, okay, I also get it from if you are tall, if you're like a tall person, generally, it is difficult to have somebody that you would date and look up at. So maybe that is the appeal. Middle of the road, okay. I love that. I love Mel is like diplomatic. It depends on someone's personality. I wish I could be like that, but I am a shallow bitch. Yeah. Yeah. I like to listen to him like say things, which sounds like I like to listen to him talk because it's like his voice is like one that I find like chill because when I'm working, I don't have to listen. I don't have to care what he's saying. It's the timbre of his voice. And that's the point that I'm getting to when I'm like listening to podcasts. There, you have to have a very specific voice for me to like listen to like a video, to your live stream. You have to have a very specific voice, especially when I'm just like trying to get through my work. It's not the content of what you're saying, which I know, sorry to people, but like, I don't give a shit what you're saying when it's hot and I'm trying to like have something to focus on. So I don't care what you're saying. I just need the timbre of your voice. And like, I like the timbre of his voice. Can't say I'm gay. So like he says things, and hey, look at you. See, a little dirty and nerdy. Okay. All right. No. If he was scripted heavily, honestly, I hate that I'm attracted to men. I hate men who act like they have something profound to share. Oh my God. I literally cannot. Listen, and that's probably the problem. I think that if me of like 4 years ago would probably be like, oh yeah, but like me of today, that's not really doing like, I don't do, you know what I mean? I don't, I don't do any of that. So it's like, ugh. All right.
Element to it. But I've never, I mean, I don't know. I've never like really explored the depths of that at all. Partially because I guess like I'm a bit of a boomer in that sense where I feel like I don't want to hyper medicalize everything, like every facet of existence, because I think that it's not necessarily like dampening it or refusing to reckon with it or acknowledge it necessarily, but like I feel like working to overcome it without being super hard on yourself has been a healthy coping mechanism for me.
That is very true. So ADHD friends out there, neurodivergent friends out there, one of the biggest things that all of us have to do, because I know we're not nice to ourselves. I'm seeing y'all right now in the chat. I'm looking at you. I know you're not nice to yourself. I know you call yourself nasty names. I know that when you lose something, you treat yourself like trash. I know that if you forget an appointment, you start cussing yourself out and talking about how stupid you are. You're not stupid. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Like, we are so hard on ourselves. And it's like, we have to remember that, like, one, these are disabilities. You are disabled. Just like if you're wearing glasses, that is a disability. You are disabled. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're perfectly fine. Disability is part of life, right? So no. Listen, I need y'all to stop it. Listen. Oh my God. But we just do. We treat ourselves bad. You forget one thing and now you're just eating yourself up. Just being, I can't believe I did that. I'm so stupid. Of course I would do that. Of course I would. No, like, you have a disability that you are working with every day and it is working against you. You're trying to put systems into place all the time to help yourself. But unlike rich people, we don't always get to keep those systems in place. Things happen that make it more difficult for us to keep our systems and our schedules. So it does make it difficult, right? So like, I would implore all of you, everyone in the chat and anyone watching this on the replay, to catch yourself when you're being mean to yourself. And case in point, I had a really rough day, I feel like earlier in this week. And for those of y'all that don't know, I'm still unhealthily smoking cigarettes because I don't trust vape, okay? I know the poison that's in the cigarette. Let me live my life, okay? I have a lot of oral fixations. And really, if I keep chewing gum, I'm not going to have any teeth left, all right? I have to like alternate, okay? Because if I don't, like, listen, it's bad. My need, that is my stem. My need to chew on things is high. So I smoke instead. So anyways, I went to the park and like on my way home from work, and I went to the park to eat in my car like the hobgoblin I am, because I just didn't want Bo to see me outside eating because I was gonna have to take him for a walk. So I'm eating in my car like the hobgoblin I am. I finish eating, all right? And then I go to look for my cigarettes in my purse. I can't find them. And I am immediately cussing myself out. I'm immediately like, of course you left them at work because you're such a stupid bitch. And then I found them and I was like, oh, there they are. Girl, you got to stop being so damn mean to yourself. And like, since it happened, like, I'm gonna have to remind myself again in another month, but I'm working really hard every day to catch myself on these like mean, nasty things that I say to myself. Like, no one else talks to me like this. No one. I have literally not had anybody else in my life talk to me the way that I talk to myself, which that is bad. Except for one. But I'm deleting that. So yes. It is not a dream. I am doing that. So let's see. I feel like there's one other spot where I was like trying to get in. It's not like the whole thing because I got this particular section, but I couldn't remember where else I was like burp 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 burp.
In you know, living my life without thinking about it too much.
I do think that's really healthy. I think like not being hard on yourself is like a big key. And yeah.
It's just the way I mean, my shit is the worst stuff is just like, I'm in the pocket when I'm doing this. The way I describe it is like, I get a sense of euphoria and calmness from streaming.
Yeah.
Where no matter what is going on, no matter how chaotic my life is, when I press the start streaming button, everything just like.
That's why I stream. Because I don't have that same feeling when I'm filming. I used to, but due to changing circumstances with like the way that my job changed and all of that, I stopped having as much fun filming. I stopped having that like laser focus that like, yeah, get it. And I get it more from streaming. And I feel like not only was it the change in circumstances, but it's also because I started doing Twitch so much. I just love the stream. I love being able to just like back and forth with everybody, just being able to instantly say hello, being able to comment directly to you like this. If anyone else in my life talked to me the way that I talk to me, I'd cut them out of my life, period. Remember that. That's what I have to start telling myself. Like if anybody else talked to me the way that I talk to myself, I would not allow them to be in my lives. I divorced them. Are you kidding? Like I divorced them and blocked their mother from my Instagram. Come on. Yeah, like I feel like there are times like when I stream on YouTube, when I'm streaming on Twitch, like I'm having such a nice time and I get like so locked in and I'm having such a good time. Now, after this is over, I'm going to collapse. Like I'm going to just be like, ugh, and I'm going to be upset. And I'm going to be like, oh, not like upset in a bad way, just more like that went really well. But let me fast. I finish the stream. Immediately after the stream, I go look at everything and try to make sure that most of it went up well. Cause I always like have this sensation that somehow it just went into the crapper and I get stressed out about it. And then once I'm like, yeah, it went well, I like make sure I look at it, do all this stuff. I will build the thumbnail and do all of that, which is fun-ish. And make sure I do something in the description box because I very rarely do. These days, I very rarely put anything in there. And then I just like run off, you know what I mean? And then it's like I take a shower. I might chat a little bit with M on Marco Polo, and those are interesting chats because it's usually right as I'm wiping out. So M is lucky enough to get all of my like weird brain dumps. And it's just like, and then it usually ends like this where I'm like, yeah. So anyway, anyways, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna go to bed. So I did like that section where he talks about like the hyper focus. And this is what I'm talking about when earlier, like the reason I'm even pulling the rest of this in is because earlier in this podcast, he was talking about how he didn't think that ADHD was really like as debilitating as people make it out to be sometimes, especially on Twitter. And the reason that I even brought this part of it up, like the part where he's talking about streaming and his hyper focus, and they're talking about RSD. At one point, I think Jarvis even starts talking about how he has somebody body double with him. And here's the thing. Us brokies, us poors, the people down here, the reason that we are so particular about it and we get in our feelings about it and we're very like, why are you talking about it from this perspective? And you're very privileged is because like I said earlier, I don't have very much control over the majority of my schedule. I work Mondays, Tuesdays off. Then I work Wednesday through Saturday and have Sunday off. That is my schedule. I get Sunday and Tuesday off. And the problem is when it's this hot, I obviously have like a whole other element to it, which is like, oh, it was really stupid hot and I'm exhausted and I can't do anything. Like Sunday, all I did was sleep. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't pick up. I couldn't clean up. I tend to clean in little spurts. Like I'll just look around me and be like, oh, I need to do something about this. Right. So I brought all of that up because I feel like a lot of times, you know, rich people and especially rich men have this way of being slightly night mail, slightly dismissive because they don't really have to think about it. Like you have a job that you enjoy every day and you get to do that every single day. Now, if this were my job and I was actually able to like manage some of my shit, like it's not going to be perfect. I kind of enjoy being a little bit of a mess, to be honest. I kind of enjoy it because it's just like, it's I don't know what I would do if I had my life together, to be honest. Like if it was together, like, ooh, I'm kind of afraid of having that much time on my hands if my life is together. What? Um, please let me be free. Like, having my life together seems stressful, but more stressful than running around. Um, but I just feel like they were kind of talking about it from this like very lackadaisical, nonchalant, like I have these resources because I have money. But one of my favorite parts of this, and I'm gonna try to get to that because I don't want y'all to be here forever. Because if I go through like all of this, I'm looking for it right
Doing the
quick.
podcast so much versus like BB, who's currently wrangling the dogs.
They've quieted down. They probably petered out.
She's been helping me out with a bunch of production stuff, and I've been putting off recording an ad for 2 weeks. It was due like the following day.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Is the worst part about it.
But recording with her on the phone, done, easy, immediately. And my video still isn't finished.
That's really interesting because it's like I'm gonna think about that. I might take advantage of that and like try to get help in that regard because there are a lot of things that I just like always put off, and I will never do it. I will never ever like parking tickets. It sounds so basic, and it's just like it's literally going to take 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I just will not do it. And it just piles up for.
And so this one is super important, which I wanted to talk about, which is the avoidance aspect of specifically ADHD and ADHD. Like the way that you will have the smallest of tasks, like for me, all day, I've been saying to myself, let me get the sheets out of the dryer. I will fold the sheets and then I can put the blanket into the dryer and then wash the next set of sheets. And the reason I have so many blankets and sheets to wash right now is because when I have multiple sets, it was supposed to keep me from forgetting to change my bed sheets, which I don't forget now. I change them regularly. However, I don't wash them all fast enough. And then M was a guest in July. So M was a guest. I'm gonna go. And I still have to wash those. And I'm trying to get all of this done because I am moving in like a month. So I haven't done it yet. And it's a simple task. It's not hard because like I don't even fold my sheets properly because why would I do that? First of all, I live. Who's folding their sheets? I mean, if you are, like, congratulations, I'm glad for you. Thank you for having your life together because I certainly do not. And I'm not making fun of you. I know it sounds like I'm being sarcastic. I'm dead ass. Like, congratulations, because I could never. I could never. But it's but the end result is that, like, I think what makes me laugh about this whole thing is that he very much starts to saying it's not as debilitating as people make it out to be. But essentially, they go on to talk about all the ways in which it actually is very debilitating if they don't do X, Y, and Z. That's why it makes me laugh. Because they're literally sitting here. This is why I don't trust anything that a man says. Like if you're out here and you like to date men, I'm sorry, but if you're out here, you like to date men, and they're like, I like it when women. Don't listen to them because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the words that are coming out of their mouths. No, I'm just kidding. But like, am I? But it's just interesting that he started it saying it's not debilitating, but also going into, well, if I don't follow my strictly regimented schedule, my entire world will fall apart. That seems pretty fucking debilitating to me, sir. That seems fucking crushing. Okay. I just need you to know that is the exact thing that people are telling you. You literally, all three of you, went through and talked about all the ways in which if you even miss one little thing in your schedule, you do this thing, you do like your whole world comes crumbling down. If that's not debilitating, then tell me what is. I just want to know. Because I think also listening to y'all is like another reason why I don't like having everything well regimented because of that. Of the absolute and abject fear I have from the reality that the moment that I like let one thing slip, like it's over. It's over. Oh no, I have to book a flight, yet I don't want to bother looking at a calendar to figure it out. It would take 2 minutes. Oh, Janet, like everybody, like before we leave, everybody tell me your little things here that you have paying a bill online. It's the click of a button. Sometimes I remember to do it at noon and I end up doing it at 3 a.m. the next day. I used to take a day off on my birthday and treat myself by doing something I've been putting off, like getting a smog certificate for my car and feeling great afterwards. Oh my God, please. I'm living for these. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes, behavioral therapy totally works if you can have a like regimented schedule, but yeah. And that's why like I can't live with that because I cannot have a regimented schedule because my job does not end at the same time every day. It just doesn't. It never will. It just never will. So I can't really have like the most regimented my schedule even is like waking up in the morning to take Bo for a walk, to feed him. Like that's it. That's the max. But otherwise, like no. Like they're literally describing all the ways it's debilitating and saying it's all easy. Exactly. They're like, it's fine. Like I get at 4 a.m. I feed my dog, I eat my breakfast, the same breakfast I have every day. I then prepare for my stream. I get up, I go to my stream. I do it for approximately 10 to 12 hours. Once I'm completed that, I then wind down. I have dinner, the same dinner I had yesterday and the day before that. I go to bed at exactly this time. I'm like, Star, do you not realize what okay. You know what? What do I even know? I can function only if these one bow. I can function only if these 1,000 things I have set up go perfectly well. Otherwise, everything falls apart. Like, listen to yourself. I know. I swear. I swear. It just kind of made me laugh because I'm like listening to this and I was like, because at first I was irritated. And then I just ended up laughing because I was like, y'all are literally describing everything that makes this debilitating by also talking about like all the ways in which you help yourself so that it's not debilitating. And that's what people are trying to tell you. Like, that's why people talk about it the way that they do on Twitter and whatnot and on social media, because the people around us in our lives do not understand why we live like this, right? Like, only other people with ADHD would understand why Hassan is eating like the same meal every single day, right? Or only other neurodivergent people would understand that, right? And if he was like, I have to go to bed promptly at this time, or I have to do this promptly at that time, other neurodivergent people, for the most part, would be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, cool. Now, a list of people, a lot of them would be like, what? Why? You can't just like do that later? And this is why we don't like surprises. We're not people who like surprises. We're, for the most part, I feel like I don't know a lot of neurodivergent people who like enjoy surprise. We're like, no. I never remember to pay my rent. Luckily, my landlord is cool. I have to rehang a picture that fell off my wall. It's been sitting behind my dresser for months, and I use Velcro command strips to hang it. I cannot deal with y'all. Oh my God. Wait. You just reminded me to check to see. Oh my God. Yeah, I have to like, I have some routines, flexible routine. I need to learn more about the flexible routine. Meg, hi, I'm so late. My license plate tabs are perpetually expired. I write down the things I have to do, but I can't really read my handwriting. I write down the things I have to do, but I lose the paper that I wrote them on. I do wonder that. I wonder if I had been diagnosed at a normal age and had the resources to address it, if like my life would be different. But like the answer is yes, it would be different. But I don't know if I want to know the difference. You know what I mean? Like butterfly effect really has me in that feeling where I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. But Kim Foster spoke about trying to regiment with her behavior regarding her ADHD, but even she admitted it kept falling apart and taking medication helped her. Yes. They are in denial. Society does make us react this way, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people who are trying to minimize what you're going through, because I think that especially a lot of holistic people minimize it because they can't imagine having to actively think about simple tasks like I have to brush my teeth, right? And having to give yourself a reward for brushing your teeth, or having to distract yourself so that you can brush your teeth every day. The strength it takes to go do the simple thing, which is I need to take a shower, and like all the effort that is involved in taking that shower, right? Like the amount of effort you're like putting in to like go shower. Like me, I have to put on music, and it has to start with the right song. Like right now, the song that I'm starting with is Elle King's "I Told You I Was Mean." That's my favorite right now. So I'm starting out with that and like move from there, right? Like quite literally, the simplest things make our life. Every time one of my like my TV or my laptop somehow disconnects from my streaming service, I I can't. It will take months for me to reconnect it. I'll just watch it in a different room. Like if I'm in here in like my streaming room, all of that, I have a TV right here. That's what I game on. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch something while I edit on my laptop. And if that particular streaming service is like, oh, you have to log in, I'm like, I can't. I'm on my laptop. I can literally right here put in the thing. Somewhere in my brain, it's like, this is going to be so complicated. It's literally not. Every time I do it, I'm like, oh, that took seconds. Like every time I actually go fix it, I'm like, oh, that was just seconds. Why do I like make this such a big deal every time? And then I will do it again. I will do it every time. Like it's painful and it's humiliating at times because it's just like the smallest things in my life are making it difficult. And I'm like, why is it so hard to do a thing? I cannot do auto pay until I move. Once I do that, once I moved, I will do auto pay. Listen, listen. It is like, listen, and the thing is, like, I'm sitting on my laptop. I could literally like click over, right? All I have to do is like be like, click over, right? Type the thing in, do the thing. And then it takes me, it is like a 30-second process, but I act like you are asking me to go on a real Mission Impossible, like Tom Cruise style. Like I act like you're asking, like that is what you're asking me to do. You're like, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to get your funky ass in the shower. I can't, it's so like all of us sitting here every day. So I just want to say to the sad boys, like sometimes with a Z, boys with a Z. I'm not gonna stop saying it that way now because I can't. Um, is it Boys with a Z? Because I feel like it is Boys with a Z. If it isn't, then that's too bad because they missed an opportunity to be like boys to men. Oh, listen, don't come for me. Anyways, Steven, wait, I saw that. I just saw that you said a thing. Wait. How did I? Yes, you finally get your psych. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that you're able to get your ADHD medication. You're about to live your best life. It can be a little troublesome. Just getting it all like just right. That's all. Getting the dosage right can be kind of a pain in the arse. Um, and it is like wildly different. Like when I was able to like take the medication for a little bit, it's so wildly different to have these moments where you're like, I'm just doing stuff. It's not hard. I'm doing things. It's amazing. Like that was the wildest part for me. I was like, oh my God, I'm just doing things. Look at me doing stuff. Look at my brain just like focusing. What? On one thing at a time? So, yeah, rich privileged men could just not. That's my conclusion. Yeah. So I think if you watch that, like the good news is maybe they just didn't get that maybe they just didn't get it. The bad news is there isn't any because today was all about good news, good times. Also, anybody who is subscribed to Audra Rain's lowercase, I am trying to see if I can get my shiz together. I don't know if I'm gonna film or if we're just gonna watch it. Like we're gonna do a live stream and then I'm gonna edit said live stream and put it up. We'll figure it out. But y'all, I went back and rewatched Grimm. I'm in the 5th season. And if you have watched Grimm with 2 M's, we need to talk. So I'm going to go because I'm about to, what time is it? I'm about to fuck off for about an hour because that's the time I need to take a shower, basically. Every time I leave these streams, it's 2 reasons. 1, I can no longer tolerate the light there because it hurts my little eyeballs because I don't like light like that. And 2, I need this entire hour to convince myself to shower and get work. So I will see y'all next time. Please be safe. And remember, please remember to like speak about yourself kindly. Don't be nasty to you. The next time you do it, like I can't guarantee that I can, in fact, come for you, but I am sending a bat. Okay. And it's not going to give you superpowers. I'm sorry. Be nice to yourself. Mwah. Bye.